Seems to be the case. Seems to be the case that my streaming gadgets are actually hanging. Let's actually have a look at this. Task manager. It shows me something ridiculous. Look at that. Memory and CPU. Cursor is using like more of my memory than I thought. Then we have my task manager taking up 14. No, wait, hold on. That doesn't seem right. Doesn't seem right at all. Unless I have so many applications open that I can't really, when my ChatGPT is on. Damn. Okay. So, well, today I'm not going to be talking about much. Today I've just decided to come online and talk about how I have indeed, well, I'm not going to talk about it, but I'm just going to show you generally how I have found a way to unlock new levels of productivity. And and for me, it's just a matter of, coming online and, just basically doing some of this work that you can see me doing right now. It's just a matter of thought process. Like once you've already mastered the basics, once you've already gotten to a point where the basics are no longer an issue. Okay, what the hell is going on? Just hold on. I think I need to boost my system because the performance levels are not at the peak. I feel like one of my RAM modules is not even responding, to be fair. I've never had to experience things like this. Not since I bought this PC before. Jesus, RAM utilization at 98%. CPU temperature, that level, that's crazy. Yeah, my network is okay, and I can see my... Jeez. Yeah, I think this is majorly the reason why I was always avoiding streaming, because it's been a week, it's been a full-on week since I went live. And my reasons for that, of course, are explainable. I mean, my PC has just been acting up with the software I use for recording. It's been acting up with OBS. I need to also exit some apps over here, like Zoom, for instance, needs to go. Um, yeah, and I've also been starting up coaching. I mean, I've been doing personal coaching for multiple people, and yeah, it's been a real blast. Honestly, I think I want to publicize that bit where I do a bit of public coaching, and I want to open up my own personal site for allowing that, so that people can actually come in and register if they're interested. But I think where I am, I'm all right. Yo, my brother, welcome to the stream. Speaking of ChatGPT, how do you think the new version of Grok will turn out? To be fair, I don't use Grok. I mean, let's just actually open this up right now and I show you what's going down. And by the way, I have a new Twitter account. Oh, sorry, Twitter. It's no longer Twitter. I have a new X account. Yeah, so it's at Nyanumba Codes. So for those who are not following, are you using Blade for the front end? Yes, I am. Blade with Livewire. I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so we were talking about Grok, and I generally don't use Grok for anything. I'm mostly on the ChatGPT side. Grok usually comes together with X, so I'm just never on it. So that's, I don't know how Grok 3 will turn out. Like, if I ask, like, let's just compare the two. For instance, if I was to sit down here and ask ChatGPT, like, okay, how do I do something like implement affiliate market modules on my HRM? Let's start with this one. Then we move on to the asking the same question here. Let's see what happens. Why not Vue stroke React? They work well with Laravel, but I don't need to use them. Like, there's a huge gap between the learning curve between Vue and React and then using Blade with Livewire. And then at the same time, if you're going to be using Blade with Livewire, you're already using whatever it is that the ecosystem is already bringing into you. With Vue and React, I have to deal with things like state management, things like Redux and Vuex and all those different shenanigans that are out there. I honestly don't hate Vue or React, but, and then again, let me just point this out. Why should I accommodate different different UI packages when it comes to other JavaScript front-end tools like charts and things like that? Charts, data tables. They don't always work very well with Vue and React. I mean, I have to also have another different package for Vue and React for those particular charts themselves. And then again, on top of that, like, it's another different learning curve because they've been coded differently. I would probably use React if I'm building front end purely on a basis of pulling, APIs onto the front end. But now, if I'm coming to building a full-on full-stack application with Laravel, I will never look at React as an option. Vue, maybe. Vue is highly probably the one that I would go for, because, I mean, it's more friendly to the newcomers. With React, ever since I got to learn React and got to learn the ins and outs of React, I felt like I wasted a lot of time as compared to Vue. Um, but thing about React is that once you get the hang of it, it's a very powerful tool to use. It's just that it's not ideal for this use case, honestly. I know about inertia with Laravel. I've used it for plenty of projects. I just find Livewire a lot better, honestly. Um, like I'll just maybe demonstrate what Livewire can do as compared to inertia and Vue or React. But I'm sure you're well aware of that if you're already on the preference of using Vue and React. I mean, if what can I even say? I really think. Okay, look at this. Like why has it taken forever and it's not even given me anything? It's not giving me anything. I didn't even notice this. Told me ask anything. This is my anything. It's not giving me anything. Oh, okay. Finally. Meanwhile, when you go back to ChatGPT, watch this. Affiliates, referrals, commissions. Um, then we have all these different levels, like we have the user ID for the affiliates. Although I plan on creating a whole different affiliates table, um, just for login and registration, like a separate authentication guard. But yeah, anyway. So I guess the preference, I always feel the templating a bit weird myself. Well, to be fair, like if we look at how Vue and React behave, there's no there's no probable difference. Let me actually even minimize the code just to see what we're dealing with, just on the overview. We have our layout here, right? This is my layout where we have our slot over here, right? And then we have all our headers and all those different things. I have my component for sidebar navigation here. I have my navigation menu. So this is the top navigation menu, and then this one is the sidebar on this side. So that's what this is the code that's dealing with that. And then we have now the container for the main parts. Then when we look at the actual system itself, these are the kinds of pages that it deals with. So just as an example, I'll go to maybe say admin dashboard. And this is the admin dashboard. So I start with the header, and that's the administrator's dashboard. Then we have different rows in Bootstrap format. So we have these columns. We have two columns, a column 8 and a column 4. And this column 8, if we look at it on this side, column 8 deals with all these different cards, 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. So how I've structured it is inside this column 8, I've opened up another row. And then inside here, I've done 4 columns, or each of length of 6. In grid format, the screen is split into 12. So 6 columns, that's 12. 6 columns, that's 12. So those are my 4 cards right there. And then if we move on forward, we have our column MD4, which holds the chart for the revenue chart right here. And that's it, pretty much. And this is usually controlled on the back end. This chart, the details are controlled on the back end. If you want to see the back end behaves with Livewire, I have to go to admin dashboard, and this is where I get my data from. So essentially, this is how I work things out. But it may be weird for some people who've not gotten used to it. It may be very weird for guys who are dealing with Laravel, not Laravel really, but have dealt with Vue first before even coming to the Laravel side. And, at the end of the day, even if you're dealing with Vue, because I dealt with Vue first, and I still find Livewire to be a lot easier to deal with, because I'm just using the blade templating, I'm using the same Bootstrap CSS, I'm still using the same. I mean, for those guys who like Tailwind, they can go ahead with Tailwind. I like Bootstrap. I prefer Bootstrap. And I think it moves on very well at the end of the day. So looking at this, essentially, I don't see, like, it works very well. At the end of the day, whether you use this with Vue, and React for single page applications, or they use Livewire. And actually, Livewire, you can use it as a single page. You can use Livewire as single page application builders, depending on how you want the usability to appear. And it's not necessary. I don't think using single page applications are necessary. But in a case you want to do it, you can still do it with Livewire. With Vue, it just forces you to do so. With React, same situation. I don't see a problem with that, honestly. It's just that there's a certain level of flexibility that Livewire will give you that probably Vue and React won't give you. But at the same time, I can't really outright say that Livewire is better than Vue, or Vue is better than Livewire, or React is better than Vue, React is better than Livewire, or vice versa. I honestly think that generally, if you're taking into account what you're actually building and you have a fast way to getting there, if your fastest way to get there is with Vue, use Vue. I personally will use Livewire, and it's building things a lot faster for me. If you saw from where I started from with this project, like from episode 1 till now, this is episode 7? Are we on episode 7? I believe so. I think we're on episode 7. Yeah, so episode 6. So I think essentially up till this point, where I am with this bit of code is I will probably build these long ass systems with Livewire. Then when it comes to like maybe say front end, maybe say like something that's only going to be used by the client, or something that like a front page or a home page website, landing page. Sorry, that's the word I wanted to use. I probably use Vue for that. I prefer Vue over React personally. But yeah, and then when it comes to now the mobile development now, I mean, we have very huge developments with PHP nowadays. I think this is the biggest tool that's going to come up to us in the coming years, because apparently now we're going to be building mobile applications using PHP, right? Look at that. Look at this. This is the early access program for native PHP for Android and iOS. Look at that. So yeah, I could join the early access program, by the way. It's only $250. That's crazy work. Yeah, but let it come, and then we'll see what to do. Yeah, but so far we can only build desktop applications with PHP, with Laravel essentially. So yeah, we're almost there. With PHP is growing heavy. We also have things like PHP and PHPML, right? Which is the PHP's machine learning library, a beast of a framework in its own right. Yeah, there's a lot that's coming to PHP, heavily. There's even Rubix over here, Rubix ML, which is also another machine learning PHP framework here, or rather PHP library. And yeah, and we're moving fast. So this is big. Now, talking about maintaining focus, because I've diverted the whole focus on why it is that I use Livewire over inertia. But anyway, the whole reason why I bring all this forward to us is because if we don't maintain focus as developers, then what do we have, right? If we don't maintain focus on building the modules that we want to build, then we're just going to be like those guys who are, like, let's say, for example, if you're a solo developer, if you want to build applications by yourself, you have to work maybe 3 or 4 times harder and faster than those guys who are actually employed by these top tier tech companies. And the reason why I say that is because there's a lot of code here. Like, I'm a solo dev. I'm a solo dev myself. I've built this application. This is the second time I'm building this application. The first time I built it in a manner of I wish to deploy this for one company at a time, right? And as I deploy this for one company at a time, it's more like the enterprise situation. I'll deploy this application for one company. They'll be able to use it with infinite privileges. They'll be able to deal with employees completely, right? They can be able to view the levels at which they're allowed leave. They're able to see their contract status. They're able to see multiple things, okay? They can create the employees, and they can create unlimited number of employees, delete an unlimited number of employees without any repercussions whatsoever. They can give contracts as per their desired way of dealing with contracts, and they can do contract types, they can do employment types, right? Where, like, let's say, for example, if you're creating an employment type, you call this employment type. You see the kind of compensation you're going to give. You give the level of penalization, whether or not they're going to be penalized through attendance issues. If not, then you put false. If they are, put true, and so on and so forth. You put in a number of admins. You can put however many admins that you want to put, as long as the main administrator is there. Then we're going to go into security guards, which is a feature that I never completed quite well because I figured that was a feature that probably isn't required in most HR systems, especially when we're dealing with, there being HR personnel. But the idea of this security guards feature was, if a security guard allows an employee to come in, they're able to actually just upload that attendance, and then it's supposed to be confirmed by the HR that this guy had come into work, and they come into work. And in a case where they came in and they were just checking stuff out, but they're not allowed to work, then the attendance shouldn't be logged and stuff like that. Then, of course, we have departments. We have to segregate all these employees, of course. We have to have designations as well. We also still have to further segregate the employees. So we have departments, designations, employees. And then for each designation, you have to have a list of responsibilities. Say, for example, if you have a laundry attendant, you have to give a certain number of responsibilities, right? And then once you give those certain number of responsibilities, then that's when you can issue the contracts. And for those contracts, they will have those list of responsibilities within them, right underneath this place. But since I've not given, or rather I've not put in those responsibilities, then it's not going to show up over here. But nonetheless, that's how it works. And then you can see this contract is for a period of 15 months, commencing on 10th October and ends on 10th October, ends on 10th January 2026. The Employment Act section is mandates that the duration of the employment must be specified in the contract, so on and so forth, right? And this is it's a more like comprehensive contract, would say. I probably have a lawyer who would probably add some few clauses on this, but nonetheless, this is how it appears. Then we go back here, right? We can definitely edit some details on this contract. Like, let's say, for example, if we want to edit that this person is going to have maybe, say, 2 weekly offs rather than one, and so that you can be able to account for that in the system, makes sense. Then you just have to come in here and change it, and then probably changes some details in the contract. It will require this person to come in and sign the contract afresh, probably. I'm still working out the reasonability of that, just to make sure that most things are not held on mistakes, and I'm just trying to make sure that the flaws of a particular HR system in any company whatsoever is not being held by prayers and duct tape. It's actually some action that is going to, streamline the HR systems of particular companies, and that's why I created this system. And we have attendances. Okay, so we have a way to log in attendances of people. And in their dashboard, they'll also be able to check their attendances so that they can be able to claim days that they were at work when, like, let's say, for example, maybe a biometric system was failing, or maybe the security guard didn't put in the days that they were supposed to work, or even maybe say the HR manager or the head of their department didn't log in their days of work. And that's how it works. And then we move on to extra hours. This now accounts for overtimes. And, there's some situations where companies don't pay overtimes. There's some other situations that other companies do. And this is for that. We have leave types. Of course, we have annual leave, sick leave, maternity leave, paternity, special leave, and unpaid leave. Although I wouldn't want this in my system because unpaid leave means that this guy just didn't show up to work. So there's no difference between having unpaid leave and this person actually just not showing up to work and their attendance is just showing red. And that's how that works. But, still working a few kinks here and there. So yeah, and then we also have leave requests, which are employees requesting for leave, and you'll be able to see that in like a few tables here and there. So there's a pending request, the approved requests, and the rejected requests. This needs to change to rejected, but we'll work on that. We have leaves. We have holidays. You can manage holidays in cases where you're working in organizations where holidays, if somebody works on a holiday, they need to be compensated double their normal rate. That's what this is for. But in cases where we have essential services and hospitality, that doesn't apply. So yeah, I guess that's how the law defines most things. We have salary adjustments, fines, bonuses, salary advances, and welfare contributions. I'm telling you, I thought of everything, and as I continued thinking of more things to add into this system, like, for example, going to the payroll management and being able to, generate the payroll for this particular month. Then I'd be able to see, okay, who am I paying? Only one person. Oh, Jesus. Only one person. As you can see, that this is the gross pay as per contract. It's not tied down to attendance penalties because what not. And then we have the net pay, at which we have this much. Then this is viewing the payslip. When we have the payslip being viewed, this is what happens. Although I need to find a way to cache the data that's on this payslip a lot faster. But this is essentially how it is. The breakdown is here. We have that, and yeah, I think we're good to go on this basis. So yeah, it breaks it down very seamlessly. Nobody can really have disputes when everything is broken down to a T, including, let's say, for example, if they have their bonuses, the bonuses are stated with reason why they're given the bonuses, and given the fines, reasons why they're given the fines, loan payments, the reason for the loan, or rather what was titled on the loan. And then we also have these as the current deductions for things like statutories and all that. Yeah, and I think this is very comprehensive, honestly. For per person, you can take that data, and then also for the whole payroll, as long as you have multiple users, you can have one user you're paying. You can check out the payroll itself like this. So it comes in on an Excel sheet, generates it very well, breaks it down completely, tells you the bank that is going to get paid for this stuff. And yeah, we move on forward. So all that stuff is in one code base, right? But I'm taking everything that is within that code base and I'm actually like kind of replicating it. Let me just show you what the plan is, right? Um, this is what I mean by maintaining focus, right? If you already have an idea of what it is that you want to do with your code base, once you've already developed something, right, and then you want to like probably expand it, the only way is to draw diagrams. Most of the time, the only way is to draw diagrams. I would probably draw it like this, right? We have one company over here, right? We'll have one company here. We'll call this company, maybe say company X, right? This company has like their own database, right? So which means we have a place where they have their database, right? Or their systems. Let's call them the servers, okay? Inside these servers, okay, we have my system, Force HRM, okay? And what happens in this situation is, and I can't reduce the size of this font. Okay, so inside these servers, they have Force HRM and then they have also other systems, okay? Which is fine. But now, given that now I'll have to probably do this for multiple other companies, right? I copy this, paste it here. Oh, what the hell? I don't know why it's refusing to do the thing that I wanted to do. So duplicate, okay, yeah, there we go. So which means, look at this. So check this out. So let's say I deploy this app for this company X, then we have this next one here, which is company Y. And then we have, now we have our company Z here. Okay, so we have company X, company Y, company Z, right? We have Force being deployed on 3 different servers at the same time. And who is deploying them? Me, right? So I am going to these different companies, going into their servers, right? And deploying all these systems, okay? Which is not ideal because that means I'm taking 3 round trips. Say this company X is in Nairobi, right? This company Y is in Nakuru, this company Z is in Mombasa. Which means, check this out, yeah? So company X is in Nairobi, okay? So I can't drag this. Company Y is in Nakuru, and then we have company Z in Mombasa. And I am based in Nairobi. But I'm placed in, like, maybe say a certain section in Nairobi that is not easy to reach company X. Maybe let's say I'm 30 kilometers away from, the CBD, and this company is in the CBD. And then I have to go 200 kilometers to Nakuru, 600 kilometers to Mombasa, just to install 3 different applications. Yes, maybe a company is paying me, like, let's say, for example, and now I can use maybe a marker now. Maybe you could say that this company is paying me, 70,000 shillings. Okay. This next company is paying me, like, let's say 70,000 shillings. And this company is paying me 70,000 shillings. So now I'm looking at it like this. Okay. I'm looking at these three companies. They've given me 210,000 Kenyan shillings, right? And that's probably for instant deployment. They're not paying me a monthly fee whatsoever. If that is the situation, I've only made 210K, and I've probably spent half of this going to these separate places because I'm going to have to spend 3 days in Nakuru. 3 days, well, of course, I live in Nairobi. I'm going to spend 3 days in Nakuru, 3 days in maybe Mombasa, just deploying and also training. Spending on accommodation, right? So I probably spent half of this, right, which is about 135,000 Kenyan shillings. So I've made 135 Kenyan shillings on a one-time deployment. Okay. Now, taking that into account, let's say this is the situation of my current, outreach level right now. This is what I want to aim for. I'll come in here and maybe say put up a server on my own, right? This server in its entirety is going to probably host Force and other apps, but this is my server. Okay, this is my server, and this is me. Okay, I own this server. So I'm just going to come in here and point to the server instead of pointing to the application itself. Okay, so I own this server. I own this application. Now, given that the application is going to be on the server, right? And then we have company X. So I'll come in here, copy. So this is company. I don't know why this thing is behaving for me like this. So I'll come in here, maybe say duplicate this, take this to this. So we have company X. Let's actually start from A. Okay, we have company A. We have company B, C, D, and I found the shortcut finally. It's Control D. Company A. Actually, I'm going to delete these ones. So I have company A. Then I have company B. I have company C. And I have company D. Then I have company E. Okay, all of these guys are going to be using Force. And just point it like this. Okay, so how does this work? If you're in Nakuru, hit me up and don't spend on accommodation. Don't worry, I got accommodation covered on those fronts. I'm just speaking on a perspective of, yeah, just on those fronts on the basis of if this is anybody else, right? But yeah, like I'll definitely hit you up. I'll definitely hit you up. We can probably meet when I'm in Nakuru. Alright, so check this out, yeah? I've come in here, this is me, I've deployed it once on my server, and company A, B, C, D, E are coming in here to use this application. So as compared to these guys, all right, these guys who have deployed this application for, like, I've charged 70, 70, 70. And this is a one-off payment. For these guys, I'm going to probably be charging 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. But this is going to be a monthly payment. So for these three companies, let's say I don't have any companies ever again that I'm going to be installing for this application again. The total that I'll be getting over here is going to be 135,000 if I'm considering the fact that I'll spend another 135,000 on other expenses. All right. So this is where we move to, I don't know why I can't increase the font on this. Anyway. Yeah. So this is 135,000, maybe say profit. And maybe getting these companies has been spread out. Like it's not as easy, right? So making these trips, maybe this is 135,000 in 1 month, and I'm never going to make this from these companies again. Whereas if I have these guys, I'm charging them 5,000 each. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 companies. 5,000 each will get me up to maybe say 25,000, right? We get 25,000 from these guys. I've deployed this on maybe say a VPS, and on this VPS I probably don't need as much storage, maybe about 100 GB of storage, of which that will probably be like roughly 4,000 shillings a month, right? If I'm using Hostinger. Or even less, you know, if you think about it, it's probably even less. So I'll just mark this as minus 4,000, and then I'll come in here and take this as plus 25,000. Right? So this is the model you should be after, because here's the thing. You're paying 4,000 a month for this, but then you've gotten 25,000 after. So in this situation, what's happened here is, I don't know why it's, okay, let's duplicate this, drag this down. So in this situation, this is what you've gained. You've gained 21,000 from this point. And then this, at the end of the day, is not per just one particular spending. This is per month. Okay? So given that you have this as per month, let me just drag this so that you can see this. You have this 21,000 per month. Given that you're not going to have any more clients, okay? This is quarter one, right? Let's say this is in 1 quarter. For the remaining 3 quarters, you're not going to get any other clients. So you're remaining here at 135,000, while over here, you've gained 21,000 multiplied by 3, let's say. But this is per month again. So times 3, actually times 12. Let's just say, just say it as it is, times 12. So just come in here and say that this is a total of 21 times 12. What is that? That's 42 plus 210. 252, right? 252,000. 252,000. No, it's probably 2.52 million. $2.52 million. Correct me if my math is wrong, but this is the figure I've come up with in my head. Actually, you know what? I have a calculator in my computer. I don't know why I'm dealing with this. So 21,000, right? Multiplied by 12. 252,000. Yeah, yeah, fair, 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 fair. But now here's the thing: it's easier for more companies to come and join here with you spending only 4,000 still, rather than you spending 135,000 to get a 210,000. It makes sense because now 5 companies becomes 10 companies. Multiply this by 2. That's actually coming to a whopping 504,000. Yeah. Then 10 companies becomes 20. It now becomes 1,080,000. And then you move on forward, like 2.16. And then it's just a matter of just sitting down and improving this. Maybe this will probably go up to about maybe say 8,000, then 16,000. You're just you're just scaling up in terms of resources for your server. But these companies are enjoying the benefits because they're able to deploy their application. So deploy the application with multiple companies in mind, with all these different things. And then also at the same time, you need to look at it in a perspective of you don't need to have multiple companies being hosted by different people all at the same time. Company A and company B could have one user, right? So company A and company B could have one user. Call him user A. So user A owns company A, company B. Company A and company B are companies in Force HRM. All of these are going to be charged 5K each, and you move on forward. But then you also limit the features. All right, you limit the storage that is supposed to be used by company A, company B. You also limit the number of employees that are going to be had by company A and company B, because again, you also have to maintain per company the number of resources that are required so that you can also pay good amount, or rather maintain your server to equal amounts. So all you're doing is controlling your server from wherever you are. And this I would call this the perfect model. This is what is called software as a service. In fact, I would go as far as call it platform as a service, but it's more on the side of software as a service, because you're actually putting up software online and you're selling it multiple times, but it's one software. This here is probably not the best model, because that is the model that had been used maybe in the early 2000s, maybe the late 2010s, maybe up to the late 2010s, became outdated. Well, I can't say really outdated because people still prefer this method somehow, but that's how I look at it. All right, so what is this, how all these numbers have to do with focus? Well, I've just gone from showing you what it is that I've built. I've gone to show you that this has only been built for one particular company. What are the steps that are required from migrating this into being one shell that can be controlled by multiple different companies? Well, you look at the database, you look at the structure of everything, and you try and find ways at which, let's say, for example, you open a new window and open that application itself. So you look at the database, you look at the structure, and then see what is it that you need to do in order to segregate this application in a way that different companies are used, different modules are developed, so that you can separate this whole application and use it as just a module for the entirety of this new application that you're building. And that's where focus comes in. Because you need to think about it like, okay, you're actually building this application afresh. So you need to actually work on the new features pending, like the old way of you building this application is now obsolete. because you've added features constantly and constantly. Like if you can see over here, I have these tables over here: add constraints to designations, add constraints to attendances, add constraints to payroll payments. And now, because as a solo developer, most of the time, most solo developers usually build these applications when they are not even using any designs. If you look at my Figma, for example, my Figma has nothing in terms of designing this application. I just used a particular theme and I went on with that. I just found a new color scheme. I went on with it there at that point, at that one particular point, and I just used everything that I had at that particular point. So my Figma doesn't have any designs. I don't have any ERDs of this particular application. I have nothing, okay? So now at the point where I've been developing this and have all these different features, and then I want to build a fresh application based off of the same thing, then I have to use the same old methods that I was probably frowning upon when I built this application initially. I have to build ERDs, I have to do designs, I have to structure everything in a manner that when I come into building this application, it's even faster than when I built the initial application before. And even if I didn't know the database design, I know I can still build this application faster from scratch as long as I know the plot. Now, I have to structure out the plot. What is it that I need to do inside here that is not ideal over here? Well, I have to use these companies as part of the application itself, such that this user can come in to access the company so that they can come in and access the application itself. So in this situation, these companies come inside here. Right. So now once those companies come inside there, they are a part of the application itself. So this Force HRM becomes something like this. In fact, I would go ahead and delete this and then say this is Force HRM. Okay, this entire server is Force HRM, right? And then the user comes in and accesses company A and then accesses the application itself. Then, you know, things like that. So the companies are part of this. So which means you have to incorporate the companies. Like let's say in a perspective of maybe say you come into things like designations, for example, okay, or departments. So departments was the top level of where it is that you started the application from before you create any employees, okay? So this is the point where you're going to start putting in the companies, right? When you move on to things like the payrolls, okay? The payroll's also going to be at the company level, right? Because you also have to structure it out in a matter of, okay, the user is going to access the company. The company is what is controlling what? The employees. It's also controlling the payroll. It's also controlling attendances, things like that. So all these things are going to be attached into different levels. Like if you go to the payroll section, this is going to be payroll for this one company alone. If you're going to go to the employee section, these are only going to be employees of this particular company alone. From my administrator side, I can see all the employees, I can see all the attendances, I can see all the administrators from that particular point. I can see also all of the payrolls that are being generated per company. So that is essentially what we are building here. And that is how I think in order to maintain focus levels in this particular building process. I think most people should think that way, think big, rather than think on per module basis. Because if you think on per module basis, you're going to be stuck on that module. You're going to continue perfecting this particular module rather than actually focusing up on building the entire conglomerate of applications that you're going to be building in this one application. Because when I talk of modules, this whole thing about having admins and creating an admin, that on its own is an application. Most people don't see it like that, but that on its own is an application. It's an application that is used to create administrators, an application that is used to create security guards. Those are mini applications inside this one application that generates, a whole HRM. an application that is used to store details of employees, right? And if I'm storing details of employees, I'm storing their first name, last name, email address, phone number, their ID, their photos, yeah. And then you have to think about it like this. I have banks over here. These banks are coming in from an application that has a list of banks, and I can create a list of banks over here. So in a way, when you come in here into the employees section, this list of banks is just coming in from an API, let's say. This account number is coming in from, maybe say, just an account number. Like this is just an account number. It's just details that you get from the employee themselves and stuff like that. Then you also have mini applications within this one application, again, where we have an application that stores the KRA pins and stores the NSSF files, stores the NHIF files, and so on and so forth. So essentially, I look at it like that, bare bones, so that we do not have to go further to, we go deep into bare bones so that we try as much as we can to finish up all those mini applications that we've created, so that when we're moving on to these other levels, we're just finishing them up. Then once we get to that point where they're actually being used, we can actually gather more requirements so that we know what exactly it is that we need to advance on. Like this attendance management tool was not always like this. It was different. It had changed over the years. If you look at my previous videos, like maybe say in the 2023s and 2024, you'll probably see a completely different design. In fact, let's actually open this up. Completely different design. It should be live streams. Look at this. Let's actually take a look at this. Okay? Let's take a look at this one. No, this was 7 months ago. Actually, this is not it. Let's go back and see what we have. I don't know where we are. I think I streamed this bit. How old was I here? I look so tiny. Yeah, I think this was the same app. As you can see, this was 2 years ago, right? You can see level on the employees' payslips bit. And I took so many breaks. So, as you can see, this was generally the starting point. There's not much here. This is the general starting point of where this application was. This is where it is right now. If you look at this is where it is right now. So if I was to show you real data, okay, real data, this is of one that I manage currently, and this is actually one that is being used at present day. Real data, and it works. So compare this, what you're seeing here, and compare what you see in this video. Totally different application. But it's the same code base. As you can even see the URL at the very top. It's not changed from the URL that we have like here in this test, in the test application that I have here. So it's a matter of like always growing a code, trying to find new requirements, and staying focused, staying on the job as much as you can. I don't know if I can be able to find the attendance's place. But I built this thing so fast, actually. I think by the time the MVP was being used, check this out. This is the payslip. Look at this. This is the payslip. Completely different from what I have. Let's say we come here. Completely different from what I have here. So you can see this and this. And my styling back then was so bad, I swear. And it probably is still bad now, but we're still working on it. But yeah, we move and we move regardless. I still think that as we continue coding, we get to gain some new levels of experience when it comes to dealing with new levels of, developing this. So now we have this new code base. We have built something superior to what it is that we have here, right? Or rather, we're building. And the reason why I say that is because the template is like this. Let's go back to our code and see. We have our point over here where we had no companies whatsoever, and we wanted to use this same code base for that, but we can't because I'm still maintaining this code base. I'm still using this for the main applications that I have already deployed within these three. Okay, so given that I have already done that, I wanted to create a new code base, and that is why I have this code base right here. And this code base is more robust because I have multiple authentication guards set up. Say, for example, if I come in here and I want to go to the user's dashboard, right? So user dashboard. I have to log in as somebody else different, all right? Which already I think is in session. I think already that particular user is already in session, so that's why I can be able to get this user. And it's a completely different dashboard altogether. If it can load. Unless there's a network error somewhere, I don't know. Maybe I'll have it sorted out. Ah, yes, I understand what's going on here. So I need to cancel this out and do npm run dev again. Yeah, so here we are. So you can see we have that, okay? We have this point, we have a point where we can view the companies. If I click on view company, we should be able to, but then we have to subscribe. So in order for us to subscribe, we can select our plans, maybe a monthly plan, quarterly plan, a semi-annually plan, or the annual plan. So monthly plan, 5,500, let's say. All right, that's going to probably be the price that we're going to be putting it up. The quarterly plan, we come in here, we are doing it at 14,850, which is 10% off. Semi-annually, 15% off. And then annually, we're doing it at 25% off. If we select this plan at annual, and then we come in here and check it out, okay, of course, it's not going to check out because I need to do something with Paystack. Actually, let's do that very quickly. I could have used M-Pesa, I could have used PesaPal, but they're all quite crap. Okay, I need to stop crapping on these companies. Like, they can just come in here and just decide, yo, listen, you can say whatever it is that you want, but you can't say anything bad about our companies. Like, why? Let me actually put this to the side because maybe some sensitive details are about to pop up. So what it needs me to do is I'll need to have to put my IP address so that it doesn't like look at my IP like it's something strange. So I have to obviously go to what's my IP. API keys and webhooks. And then IP whitelists, of course. Okay, so now it should probably work. Let me just drag this here so that we can see what happens. Okay, so we have this. We'll click on checkout and payment has been initialized successfully. And then now we come in here and pay. So we just come in here and do a success. We can do M-Pesa. Please enter your test mobile money number to begin this payment. You know, there's many. You can do it with a till. You can do it with Airtel Money, which is new now. And I'm going to do the bank and just do success. And now we have So now we come in here and we go and view the company. Right, so now we have our dashboard, we have our company dashboard, and everything is working quite fine. All right, and as you can see, I can also check the subscription that is currently there, valid until February 17th, 2026. As you can see, it's an annual plan. Okay. Then plan features. As you can see, the plan features have been stated right there. We can come into settings. Of course, there's nothing that is been put, so there's nothing else that is here, like even payroll, nothing here. Salary adjustments is nothing whatsoever. So those are things that I'll just probably advance on later, even including this part for the downloading the employees data, because this is something that's not there, right? And yeah, we'll just move on forward just like that. Yeah, so now this is the company dashboard, but if I want to go back to the user dashboard, like I'll probably put a button over here for the users dashboard, for the users like general area, and yeah, they'll be able to go back to the users dashboard as well. But as of now, of course, we're dealing with the users link. So they can view this company, but they can't view this company because this one has not subscribed, but this one has, right? So yeah, that's how we go about this. Then we go to our subscriptions. Want to view a company, you can see that. My company's profile, right? Profile for this particular user. Yeah, that's how it works. Focus. A very important tool indeed. Because if you do not have focus as a developer, man, you're going to be lost. You're going to be lost in thought, in all these different things that are going to be happening. You're just going to stay stagnant. And you just need to learn the basics. Get the basics down first. If you can be able to do create, read, update, delete in like a short amount of time, like you've practiced it and you've perfected it to that level. Create, read, update, delete. Okay? Just those 4 techniques. Just those 4. You don't even need like top-end frameworks to get the ball rolling, right? Just know how to do create, read, update, delete. That's the main basis. Then, from that point onwards, have an idea. Think about this idea heavily. And yeah, craft out a plot, like what are going to be the ins and outs for this thing. If I put in, let's say, for example, I build a calculator from scratch, right? What's going to be the ins and outs of this calculator? What's going to be the point of this calculator? Is it going to like you key in digits and it just calculates beforehand, or are you going to put in data in a string and then have your code calculate that whole string as it is together? But I'm rambling. Let's move on forward. I was talking about creating the affiliates center. And I think that should be a stream on its own. That should be a separate stream on its own. I generally was talking about focus in this particular stream. This is the most focused I've been. And given that this has been the most focused I've been able to come up with extraordinary advances towards like my thought process when it comes to building projects through code. And I'm willing and able to share these methods through coaching, right? Through personal coaching, through certain levels of coaching. So I want to build a platform where I'll make that possible so that we can all sit down together and actually gauge where you are and where you're supposed to be. Essentially, I don't intend to waste anybody's time when it comes to them learning code. I don't intend to keep people learning code through tutorials forever. And my level of coaching is designed to do just that. So yeah, until that platform comes up, I hope you guys are going to keep on staying tuned. Thank you so much for all those who've been subscribing, who've been tuning in to the stream. We are at 920 subscribers today, and it is indeed a blessing. It is indeed a privilege. We thank God for how far we've come. I thank all of you who've also participated in this journey. It's been a wild ride, but it's been fun. It's been great learning as we also learn to teach, learn to coach, learn to advance different levels of our mentality as well as our knowledge when it comes to these fields. So yeah, that's it from me, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's been an hour of me rambling and me talking about all these different things. If there's anybody in the chat with a question, I am going to leave 5 minutes for that as we put on our break screen. All right, people. Looks like there are no questions. I guess we can call it a night. Think we can call it a night now. But yeah, be sure to subscribe for those guys who have not. And I will see you guys in the next one, the next live stream. The next live stream is going to probably be longer than this one. Definitely longer than this one. Maybe by 6 times to 7 times. We've done 8-hour live streams before. We can do it again. Yeah, that's all I'm just going to leave at that particular point. But yeah, I think in the next live stream, we're going to be doing our affiliate marketers module. Okay. Whereas we're going to be having affiliate marketing for this particular application where it applies to. Oh, what's that? Where it applies to. And I'm hiccuping uncontrollably. I don't understand why. It's been happening for the last 4 minutes. Okay, so we are going to Phoenix, welcome to the stream, man. Welcome to the stream. We're actually closing up. You missed a whole 80 plus minutes of work that we were talking about. Actually, we're going to be doing the affiliate section of this new application where we're going to be dealing with how affiliates are going to be earning their cash on a basis of how it is that they're marketing to other users. And we're going to use this by implementing discount codes for every single checkout session. So if you have a discount code from a particular affiliate, you can use it once and you'll be able to earn that affiliate marketer a certain amount of kickback when it comes to the earnings. And that's how I plan on marketing particular starting sessions of this application once it's released. And yeah, that's how we move. So I don't know, would you guys want us to start now, or do we just start on a fresh slate in the next live stream? And that would be tomorrow in the afternoon from around maybe say 1 a.m. I'm not sure, like, okay, it's already tomorrow, so today in the afternoon around 1 a.m. 1 p.m. sorry, 1 p.m. East African time. That is Nairobi time, UTC +3. I say hit it with a fresh mind, get some rest. Yeah, correct, man, correct. I think that's the way we go for. That's the way we go for it. So, Phoenix, if you missed this live, you'll be sure to get it as a full-on video. It's all good. Those guys who have been missing these lives and are going to tune in much later, we have done episode 6. We've been talking about what it takes to be in a focused mind as a developer, and just the mentality aspect of things and how we are supposed to move on. We've drawn some few diagrams, and I'm hoping that they've been quite helpful for most of you guys who've been watching and for all those who are going to be watching later. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, I will be keeping tabs with you guys pretty soon. If anything, I mean, my Instagram is in the bio, my X account is in the bio. So go ahead and check those out. I don't know if my new X account is in the bio really, because I changed my X account. This should be it now. Yeah, this is it. So it's at Yanumba Codes. So essentially that's the one that you get. But my Instagram is just at Steven Yanumba. So that's how it is. So yeah, so for those who, have any other pending questions, you can go ahead into those channels and, message me. I will be open and ready to take on whatever it is that you ask. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you guys in the next one. Please do indeed take care. And as always, may God bless.